What's up everybody? My name is Daniel and welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I will go over 3 e-commerce companies that's not based in the US. Now I don't own any of these companies myself, but I do see tremendous growth in the future for all 3 of these companies. So I will start with the most established and profitable of these 3 companies, and they will get a little more speculative as I go down the list. So let's get started. So this first company will be the most recognizable of the 3 I'm about to talk about, especially for those that have been investing for a while, because this company has been talked about by all kinds of medias for a long time. And that company is Alibaba. So since we're going to go long term with this, I'm going to start with a 3-month period. So for the last 3 months, they have grown 43%. For the last year, they have gone up 72.21%. And for the last 5 years, they've gone up 330%. And just to go a little more detail into it, they have a market cap of $805 billion and a PE ratio of 30.57. So some of you value investors might see this PE ratio of 30 and think it's a little overvalued. But me personally, for growth companies especially, I don't look at value as much as the future growth of the company. So on a side note, me personally as an investor, I don't look at PE ratio or the value of a company too much when I'm investing for growth. Because if you believe a company is going to grow in the next 5, 10, 15 years, it doesn't really matter how much you pay for it in the present. People have been talking about Amazon or Tesla being overvalued for a long time now, but they have continued to grow. And those people that have not invested because it was overvalued, they have missed out on a lot of years of growth. So getting back on track, for those that don't know what Alibaba is, they are a giant e-commerce company that operates out of China. Its consumer goods are primarily offered through their Taobao and AliExpress platforms. So AliExpress is a marketplace that is focused more globally, anywhere that's outside of China. And for Taobao, it is a marketplace that is focused domestically for individuals and small businesses. They also have their hands on a lot of other businesses like the cloud with their Alibaba Cloud platform, and most importantly, their Alipay, which is their online payment platform. So in 2018, Alipay surpassed PayPal to become the world's largest mobile payment platform. And Alipay makes up 55% of the payment market in China. Now, one of the reasons I really like Alibaba is because it is projected that the middle to upper middle class are going to increase significantly over the next few years. And with that increase in the middle class population comes an increase in expendable income. And if you go to China right now, 90% of the population prefer using online payment platforms over traditional cards or cash. And with Alipay being the dominant payment platform in China, Alibaba can see all of that expendable income flow through their systems. It will create an ecosystem where all of the money is deposited through Alipay and used in their marketplaces like AliExpress or Taobao. So I do believe there are 2 risks to consider when you're thinking about investing in Alibaba. The first is the increasing tension between the US and China, and the increasing sentiment to try to delist Chinese companies from the US stock exchange. And the second is the increasing concern over the Chinese accounting practices. Because China doesn't have an equivalent of an SEC that the US has, there is no governing body there to keep an eye on the accounting practices of all of these companies. Just this year, Luckin Coffee was caught committing sales fraud for trying to inflate their sales numbers. And recently, the SEC has launched an investigation into a company called iQIYI for the same reasons. But overall, personally, I believe Alibaba is a pretty safe company because they have been around for so long and haven't had any major issues with their accounting practices. And as for the tension between the US and China, that is something I can't really speak too much about because it seems like it's becoming more personal over time. So it'll just have to be something that may have to play out over time, and that's a risk that you will have to consider. So the second e-commerce company I'm going to talk about is Mercado Libre. So to quickly look over Mercado Libre's growth, we will start with a 3-month period, which they've grown 39.72%. Over the year, they've gone up 105%. And over the 5-year span, they've gone up 972%. And just to look at some of their other stats, they have a market cap of 60 billion, and they don't have a PE ratio because right now they're not profitable. So Mercado Libre is a company that operates out of Argentina, but it services over 18 countries in Latin America. Because of this, they are also called the Amazon of Latin America. So like Alibaba, Mercado Libre has multiple operating platforms for their company. They have Mercado Libre, which is their e-commerce market. Then they have Mercado Pago, which is their e-wallet and online payments platform. Then they have Mercado Envios, which is their logistics, shipping, and storage platform. So before I move on to why I like this company, I wanted to share something interesting that I found that the company did in March. They decided to change their long-standing logo of a handshake to having two elbows bump. This is because they wanted to raise awareness about the care needed to avoid infection. Now, with that interesting fact out of the way, the reason I like Mercado Libre is because they have the fastest growing internet penetration rate in the world. So as more people get access to the internet, the more likely people will start using one of Mercado Libre's platforms. Mercado Libre's platforms, whether it's their marketplace or their online payment systems. So one of the biggest risks that Mercado Libre has, by their own admission to the SEC, is that they are operating in a hyper-competitive industry. Because e-commerce is so new to Latin America, they believe that a lot of new companies will try to come in and compete with them, especially the companies that provide internet, because they believe they will start restricting access to Mercado Libre's site to promote their own. But overall, I believe Mercado Libre should be fine in the e-commerce space because they're one of the first movers in Latin America, and therefore they should have the mindshare of the people as the competition starts ramping up. So now I will go over the third and final company, which is one most of you will probably not have heard of, and that is Sea Limited. So now to just quickly look over how Sea Limited has grown. On a 3-month chart, they have gone up 87%. On the 1-year chart, they've gone up 412%. And in 5 years, they've gone up 907%. Although they actually haven't even been around for 5 years. It's looking like they IPO'd in October of 2017, so it's barely 3 years. And just to look over some of their stats, they have a market cap of 57 billion and no PE ratio because they're not profitable. So Sea Limited is an e-commerce company that services mainly the Southeast Asia region and Taiwan. So Sea Limited, like the other two companies, also has multiple platforms in its company. They have the Shopee platform, which operates as their marketplace. Then they have their Sea Money platform, which is their e-wallet or their online payment platform. And finally, they have Garena, which is their gaming division. So unlike the other two companies, Sea Limited has a gaming division that is very profitable for them. So Garena, which is Sea Limited's gaming arm, has developed a game called Free Fire, which is one of the most downloaded games globally and one of the highest grossing games in Southeast Asia. So like Latin America, Southeast Asia also has a very fast internet penetration rate, which makes Sea Limited in all of its platform very enticing for any investors. Also, one of the big reasons I like Seagate is because Tencent, one of the biggest companies in China, has a 20% stake in this company, which makes it so that Seagate can concentrate on trying to grow the company even though it's not profitable. So one of the biggest risks with Seagate is that Alibaba is starting to expand into Southeast Asia also, which makes it so that Seagate has a competition with a much more established company. But going back to the Tencent stake in Seagate, this makes it so that they have a fighting chance against Alibaba in the long term. But overall, Seagate is a more speculative company because they're so new and pretty much unproven. So those are the 3 companies that I believe you should add to your watch list. I try to choose companies that can create an ecosystem that can facilitate all of the consumer needs. Whether it's through keeping your money through their e-wallet or payment system, or siphoning that money through their marketplaces. And by having the marketplace and payment platform, these companies make sure all of the money always go through their companies. So that's it for this video. Let me know down in the comments which companies you've liked. And also, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to get started on your investment journey with Robinhood, I will have a link down below. If you sign up with that link, you'll get 1 free stock to get you started. And with that, I want to thank all of you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.